Hey guys, Stress here for Team Dignitas. We're here again with Scarra after week 2, day 1 of LCS, where Team Dignitas finished with day 1 with 2 wins to 0 losses. You must be feeling great after those wins. How did the first game against Marn go for you?
Uh, it went pretty much as we expected. I don't know if we expected that much of a landslide win though, but as soon as we got the kill on Clayky D inside that warded bush, we won the game. Like we knew from there that it pretty much was game over unless they got another kill in lane within like a couple minutes.
Yeah, and you mentioned that kill on Clayky D early. We saw you playing KL in that game, and while I know we haven't quite yet published Recall on our YouTube channel, I spoke to Crumbs a lot about Kale and her strengths, and he was saying that if we don't ban her and we have first pick, we'll be picking her. I mean, we obviously saw you on Kale this week, Kiwi Kid last week. Do you prefer Kale in the mid lane or in the top lane? We've seen the two different styles.
The thing is, it's possible to just play her anywhere, like even in the jungle. That's one of her strengths is that she's so flexible. She doesn't really have like a weak lane or a weak position. Like she can even be played AD carry. And that's when you know like the champion has like a really strong tools at her disposal because yeah, because you can do that. Like it was really nice.
And definitely in that first game, it seemed like we were going with maybe some picks that haven't been seen quite so much yet in Season 3. I mean, we ran Singed in that game and also Alistair Draven in the bottom lane. Are those preferences of Kiwi, Qtby and Patoy, or do you just think those champions are particularly strong right now?
I think it's both. Like we obviously we don't pick weak champions. Like any champion we think is weak is not a playable champion, especially when we're looking to win all of our games. But obviously, there are some champions that are strong that we don't play. So, and that's due to personal player preference. So stuff like Singed and Alistair are two champions that we play because we feel like they're strong, and both the players who play those champions love the champion.
Oh well, I mean, there are so many champions now that in the last couple of weeks that a lot of people have been talking about. For instance, your Gragas was noted on Twitter by CLG. It seems like it's definitely becoming difficult to ban all of the champions that our players are particularly strong against. And another emphasis on that is the TSM game, who we played second today with Crumbs on Xin Zhao. With regards to the TSM game, it was a lot more in our favour this week than last week. What would you say was the turning point in that TSM game for us?
Uh, two areas. They tried to do a three-man dive on top. They executed it well. They forced the pressure off the blue buff and did a three-man dive top. I thought at that point they definitely had the definite lead. They did the play correctly, but somehow Chaos died in the dive. That should have been a free kill, and that was horrible. Like that is horrible. If you're three-man diving, you're trading 1 for 1. Like that is the worst thing that can happen. And then we had a ward when Makai was coming mid, and we just baited out the gank. I knew there was no way no chance for me to die. I got double kills and double buffs. And at that point, I was like, okay, this game is over. If we just play correctly, there's no way Makai can come back into the game. And when Kiwi killed Maokai top lane, so I guess there's three specific areas where we knew we had the definite like advantage after them. When Maokai died one on one and gave double buffs to Kiwi, there was no way Maokai was coming back into the game for the next at least 5 minutes, 8 minutes, even 10 minutes.
And one thing I've been asked to ask you from Odie actually asked me to ask how was the difference in TSM outside of the game this week? Because last week they commented about how they were making noise, cheering. And I spoke to Crumbs again on recall. He mentioned that it didn't quite put you guys off as much as TSM thought it did. Were they quite as loud this week?
No, they were not, but we were. That's the thing. When we got a kill on them, Crumbs just like he just started screaming Dignitas like as loud as he could, and it was it was literally hilarious. Like our whole team started laughing. Like it was a good atmosphere this week for us. And we kind of just messed around with TSM after we got kills because we Crumbs just kept yelling Dignitas every time we got like a game winning play.
Yeah, it definitely looked like towards the end you guys were having fun with it, and it's very different to if you don't mind me saying last week. You guys seemed a little bit less happy with the performance. There was a definite change in the playstyle between the TSM game and last week's Vulcan Command game. Was there any sort of discussion in the team, any particular like turning point with morale there in that game, the gap between the two games?
Um, I think you mean the difference between week one and week two, pretty much, correct? Like
Uh,
mentality wise, or do you mean the differences between like the two games that we played the first week?
a little bit of both, because there was definitely more confidence in the Vulcan game than the TSM game. But again, also between week one and week two.
I think our confidence in the Vulcan game was just pretty much we scrimmed them Fear a lot. Like they're one of our most consistent scrim partners, or they used to be. Last week we weren't able to play them because they're all moving in, and
Uh,
we typically I don't think we've lost a game in like 8 games, so we're very confident going in. Even with like a 6 kill lead, we still beat Vulcan. But TSM is a team we notoriously haven't played against too much, and so we didn't really know what to expect. Like we heard they were pretty weak, but we may have underestimated them a little bit, and we just didn't perform at a good level because, to be frank, we didn't talk enough as a team before the games.
Right. Apologies to people watching the interview on YouTube. There's just a little bit of lag issues, a little bit of desync between the cameras. So hopefully that'll all be sorted as the interview goes on. And you guys go up against GGU today, because this interview will be posted the day after it's recorded. Can you still hear me there? You dropped for
Yes, I can
just for
still
a
hear
second.
you.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, you guys play GGU, who had a good showing last week against Curse. Very, very narrowly lost. What are your thoughts going into tomorrow's game?
Uh, I think we'll do well. We're looking a lot better this week than we did last week. And this week, GGU is coming in with a lot of new players. They have a new top lane, a new support, and they shifted their current top lane into mid lane. And so they're coming in kind of a little bit unsettled and without much practice. Now we could still lose to them with this because mechanically they're all like pretty decent players. But I feel like as a team we have more synergy right now than they do. So it should be we should I want to say we should win that game.
Well, we're all looking forward to watching the games, and of course, you guys can watch them tomorrow as well on the League of Legends esports site. That's lolesports.com. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Get all of the latest interviews, content that we do with all of our players, and of course, keep visiting the Team Dignitas website. That's www.team-dignitas.net. Thank you once again for joining us, Scarra. Hopefully, we will be able to grab a couple of seconds of your time tomorrow after the GGU games as well, and best of luck with the rest of the games in LCS.
Thank you very much.